Oh yeah? Are you scolding me? Daddy's in trouble? Yes, Daddy did say he wasn't going to do that. I know. Yes, I know. How about I give you a treat and you stop getting mad at me? Yeah? I give you a treat, you stop scolding me? Maybe. Let's give that a try and see. Want that? Ooh. You want that? Come on up. Come on up. There's my boy. Good boy. Yes, you've been storing them for the day. I swear I didn't just give him all these at once. We are trying to get him to lose weight so that he can be healthy and can go for his dental appointment eventually. Give you guys a couple of seconds to watch him chew on a stick. Because everybody loves to see Kaiba chew on a stick. Just trying to be careful because I also have to worry about, timing and such today. Filming this a few days early, but I had an opportunity, and honestly, too excited not to do it. In fact, so excited that I've already decided I'm just going to buy another box of sleeves later. The ones that I was going to use for my grandma goblin deck, I am going to use for this one instead, so that I can sleeve it up pretty much right after the video. While I also work on something else and prepare the video for Saturday. Speaking of which, what is today? Well, as I said, it's a few days early. But for you guys, today is Super Deck Sunday! 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 Damn angle on camera! Alright, there, that's better. And for this Super Deck Sunday, I do have something special for you, but as you just saw, I am in trouble for getting this. I did say on the channel several times over that as much as I really wanted to get this, I was going to avoid it, I was going to hold out, I was going to be good, and then an opportunity came up where Costco was giving them out in bundles and stuff, and I thought, awesome, I'll go pick up a bundle. And of course, my local Costco didn't have them, and by the time I got over to the other Costco near me, they were all sold out. So again, I figured it just wasn't meant to be. But today, on my way home from work, or before I got on my way home from work, sorry, I got a message from somebody saying that they had a spare one. It's not as expensive as it would have been for me in the store, but it was more expensive than it would have been for me if I bought it from Costco, because, of course, this person got it from Costco and wanted to get a little bit of extra cash for it, which is fair, considering that they didn't charge me a completely crazy amount. And what am I talking about? Well, I think I put it off long enough. Today, we are opening Limit Break from Final Fantasy. Of course, if you are in my Discord, or you happen to be in MatCave Gaming's Discord, who I'm going to shout out in this video specifically, because I didn't forget them yesterday in Saturday's video. I just had a limited number of packs, and I had many different people I was going to shout out already. And I knew for sure that I wanted to shout out MatCave Gaming a whole bunch in this video because I'm blaming you for this one, Matt. um, I discovered MatCave Gaming's channel a few months ago, and somebody ended up gifting me a membership, and then I ended up just getting hooked on the content. And at the time when I first joined, he was doing a playthrough of this game online, and it was actually really fun to watch him play that game. I got super invested in the story, super invested in the characters, and to be honest, this was the only thing from the Final Fantasy set that I was really interested in was anything to do with this game because I really didn't play a lot of the Final Fantasy games growing up. It wasn't something that interested my brother, and he was the one who typically had all the PlayStations under his name. Because in our household, my dad would get a different system every other year, let's say, and whoever's turn it was, that was their system sort of thing. So that, you know, if there was ever any fighting or whatever, we each had our own, let's say, later on in life sort of thing for when we went off to college and with our own families and etc. etc. So I have a whole bunch of like more Nintendo stuff. Like I have my Nintendo GameCube, and he was more into like PlayStation stuff. So like I said, I wasn't buying a game specifically for his system when I knew I wasn't going to get to keep it, and he just isn't interested in any of these things. So I played them sometimes, like I rented them, but I never actually owned any of these. So pretty, like I say, never got really into the lore or anything until I started watching MatCave Gaming. And his streams are phenomenal, so I am going to make sure that his channel is linked in the description of this video, so you guys can go check him out too, like the other content creators that I mentioned yesterday. Sorry, apparently somebody was on the phone and left a message. Might try and cut that chunk. If not, hopefully you guys didn't hear it. Anyways, I'm going to try and get through this really quick. And then the Saturday film that I'm mentioning, I haven't actually filmed yet, which is funny. But I'm going to film it today too if I get a chance. But first, as much as I want to savor this, we need to crack this and enjoy it before my father gets home so that I can put it with my other precons, which I'll show you my collection of precons at the end. I'm pretty sure we're going to open this from the bottom like we do most of the Commander products. I've always thought that was interesting. Wizards likes you to open everything from the bottom instead of the top. Took me a while to figure that out. Not gonna lie. I broke a lot of boxes that way. I do like the artwork on... Well, I mean, the artwork isn't really that great, actually. It's kind of weird, the artwork that they did. They have better artwork inside the box, look. Look at that. That's pretty nice, actually. Don't have a clue why you guys have a weird artwork on the other side. We got the Final Fantasy explanation there. We got our box. We got our... presumably our pack thing. There we go. We'll leave that like that. Can you guys see that if I leave that like that? No, I'm going to have to leave it like that. Okay, I'll leave it over there. Alright. Open this up. Take a moment to appreciate the artwork. We got our cloud on the front here. Explaining the deck briefly. Suit up to defend the planet. This deck is filled with powerful equipment and characters ready to wield it in battle. Let Cloud ex-soldier brandish a giant sword or try fun new gear combinations no matter who holds what weapon. Your modified creatures will have the greatest power on that field so long as those creatures have power 7 or greater. Their abilities will even become more potent. With Tifa, martial artist in your party, all your large creatures get to fight in 2 combats instead of 1. Utilize equipment variety and the strength of your allies to charge across the battlefield. For the record, I have every intention of leaving this exactly as it is. I'm not going to upgrade this. It's going to be like my Lord of the Rings ones, where I just have a cool precon. And then on the back here we have Tifa and Cloud. Cloud Strife is a young man who claims to be a former elite member of Shinra Electric Power Company's soldier unit. In reality, he was just an ordinary trooper, but the effects of a Shinra experiment 5 years ago led to the formation of false memories in Cloud's mind. When he was hired as a mercenary for the anti-Shinra organization Avalanche, he learned that the man who destroyed his hometown, Sephiroth, was still alive. Now he pursues Sephiroth to settle their score. And we have Tifa. Just want to make sure you guys get a good shot of her too. Tifa Lockhart is a member of Avalanche and the bartender at the Seventh Heaven Tavern in Midgard. She spent years training in hand-to-hand combat and can rapidly pummel any foe who crosses her. Despite harboring feelings for Cloud, her childhood friend, she remains wary of his unnatural memories of their shared past. Though she has extroverted moments, Tifa is more introverted in nature, and she often grapples with her inner struggles alone. To maintain a facade of cheerfulness, she pushes herself a little too hard. Pretty solid. We'll add that with my other artwork stuff up there. Save that to the end, see if we pull something cool. The deck box is, of course, just going to have the same artwork probably as, yeah, just a very kind of plain Jane deck box. I will do my brief complaint now, just to get it out of the way before we open this pack. Or, open this deck and all, gush over the artwork and the lore. The fact that it doesn't have the Buster Sword is ridiculous. The fact that there is I believe it was a secret layer for it, and now the thing is like hundreds of dollars, probably maybe even getting close to 1,000, is insane. And I'm never going to own that, and I have no intentions of trying to chase that still. This deck is what it is, and I'm just going to play with whatever is inside, and that's all there is to it. But, Wizards, you did do Cloud dirty by taking away the weapon that is clearly meant to be in his arsenal and forcing everybody to have to pay extra for it, which is kind of ridiculous. Alright. Do I want to do the tokens first? You know what? I want to do the tokens first for a change. Let's gush over the artwork of the tokens first. Because that Foretell card looked really cool as I was pulling it off the back here. We got Foretell, we got Treasure, Foretell. Some Rebels, 2/2s, and Soldiers, 1/1s. Handful of those, so they're probably going to be summoned a lot in this deck. Ooh, there's a whole bunch of these. Wow. Okay, almost the entire... Wow. Okay, so we have 8 Soldier/Rebel tokens, which means there's going to be an insane amount of Rebels and tokens being summoned in this deck. We got a couple Treasures and a couple Foretells, which typically people won't use the Foretells unless they're like doing foretelling and a whole bunch of other stuff that's face down to try and show what the different things are. So probably going to use these more as Treasures, which I do like the Treasure artwork, don't get me wrong, but kind of disappointing. Did think there would be more variety to the tokens though. It's craziness. Alright. Let's get into this, guys. We got Cloud, ex-soldier. 2, a red and a green and a yellow for a 4/4 with haste. When he enters, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to him. Whenever he attacks, draw a card for each equipped attacking creature you control. And if he has power 7 or greater, create 2 treasure tokens. Nice. Tifa, martial artist. 1 red, green, white. She is melee, so whenever a creature attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each opponent you attack to this combat. So if you attack everybody, all your creatures are getting +3/+3, which is pretty good. And she's a 4/4, and whenever 1 or more creatures you control with power 7 or greater deal combat damage to a player, untap all creatures you control. If it's the first combat phase this turn, you have an additional combat phase after this. Nice. So you get to attack twice in 1 turn and untap your creatures again, as long as you still control something with power 7 or greater. That is pretty cool. Basically, Tifa gives your entire deck vigilance. I might actually be more tempted to play Tifa as the commander. And she's hollow too. It's rare that you, well, no, it's not actually rare. You do usually get 2 hollow commanders, but I'm just saying, Tifa's ability might actually trump Cloud's for me. I might play Tifa as the commander instead. Which I've done once before. The Lord of the Rings deck that I love with Aragorn and all of the humans from Lord of the Rings was technically supposed to be helmed by shoot, what's her name? Eomir. No, is that right? Eowyn, the Shield Maiden from Rohan. She was supposed to be the one who helmed that deck, but I didn't like her ability as much as I liked Aragorn's for the deck. And to be honest, depending on how this deck is balanced, Tifa might be the one I run instead of Cloud. Interesting, guys. Gonna leave these two here because they are the heroes of the deck. We do have pretty much all the characters, I believe, at least in some form in this deck. But we'll keep going and see for sure. Sid Free Flyer Pilot. Equipment and vehicle spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Jump during your turn. Sid has flying. And pay 2, tap. Return target equipment or vehicle card from your graveyard to your hand. Nice. I'm Sid. That's who the hell I am. Now just let me handle it. 2/2, 1 and a white? Not bad. Cloud's Limit Break. Tiered. Choose one additional cost. Okay, so pay 1 and a white, and then you pay either 0 to destroy target tapped creature, 1 to destroy any number of target tapped creatures with different controllers, so you can get 1 on everybody's board if you want, or 3 and a white to destroy all tapped creatures. Which, as long as Tifa's untapping everybody, means you're not going to lose any of your creatures even after you've attacked, which is pretty solid. But you can play this on other people's turns too, since it's an instant, which is an amazing card. Elena, Turk Recruit, 2 and a white for a 1/4. When she enters, return target non-assassin historic card from your graveyard to your hands. Historics, artifacts, legendaries, and sagas, so basically Cloud, Tifa, any of the cool cards, Sid. And whenever you cast a historic spell, again, Cloud, Tifa, your weapons, and apparently sagas may be in this deck too, I don't know for sure. Put a +1/+1 counter on her. Nice. Looks like we're talking alone won't cut it. You're going to have to feel some pain. Heidegar, Shinra Executive. 3 and a white for a 3/3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature gets +X/+O, where X is the number of soldiers you control. Warrior Pilot, Human Assassin. Cloud is a soldier, but so far that's 2. And at the beginning of your end step, create a number of 1/1 white soldier creature tokens equal to the number of opponents who control more creatures than you. That's not going to last long. That's kind of a sucky effect. Not super happy with that one. Helitrooper, 1 and a white for a 1/2 flying. Whenever this creature attacks another target, attacking creature gains flying until end of turn. And equip abilities you activate that target this creature cost 2 less to activate. So any of the weapons you want to put on this thing will cost 2 less than their normal, which is not bad. Soldier Military Program, 2 and a white. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose 1. If you control a commander, you can choose both. Create a 1/1 white soldier token, or put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 soldiers you control. Alright. Ultimate Magic Holy, 2 and a white. Permanents you control gain indestructible until end of turn. If the spell was cast from exile, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn as well. So if you foretell it, then you get to prevent any damage that would be done to you, plus all your stuff gets indestructible. Pretty good. You gotta play it in advance, though, otherwise you're not gonna get that. Avalanche of Sector 7, 2 and a red. Human Rebel, star and 3, menace. Its power is equal to the number of artifacts your opponents control. Interesting. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of an artifact they control, this thing deals 1 damage to that player. Ouch, that's gonna hurt. But I mean, that's pretty cool. If people have a whole bunch of like tokens and stuff, that's going to deal a whole mess of damage to them. Kate Sith Fortune Teller. Aww, so cute. 3 and a red for a 3/3. lucky slots. At the beginning of combat on your turn, scry 1, then exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. When you exile a card this way, target creature you control gets +X+0 until end of turn, where X is that card's mana value. Ooh. That's not bad. Okay, sagas, for example. 5 and a red for a 7/5 Saga Ox. Okay. This creature deals 3 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures as it comes into play. Up to 3 target creatures can't block on the turn after it comes into play. And on the final turn, discard a card, then draw 2 cards. When you discard a card this way, this creature deals damage equal to that card's mana value to each opponent. And then, unfortunately, you have to get rid of this thing. But it does have trample and haste, so at least you get to attack with it twice. I'm not super fond of the saga creature idea, to be honest, but that one's decent. 5 and a red, ultimate magic. Meteor. Deals 7 damage to each creature. If this spell is cast from exile, for each opponent, choose an artifact or land that player controls and destroy it. Foretelling costs the same amount plus 2 extra, but yeah, okay. Vincent Vengeful Atoner. 2 and a red for a 3/3 assassin. Menace. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on him. Whenever he deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to each other opponent if his power is 7 or greater. Damn. That's going to be scary once you get it beefed up. Yuffie! Materia Hunter. Aw, she's cute. 2 and a red for a 3/3. She has ninjutsu, which is cool. But again, there's not a lot of soldiers in here, guys. This is kind of weird. For the soldier thing, it's definitely not going to do the soldier stuff. That's 1, 2, 3, including Cloud. So far, that's not a lot. Ninjutsu, so you can put this into play if something goes unblocked, and put the thing that was unblocked in your hand. And when she enters, you gain control of target non-creature artifact for as long as you control Yuffie. Then you can attach equipment you control to Yuffie. So basically she could steal somebody else's weapon, and then she can equip it to herself right away. That's pretty cool. Bergenhagen Wise Elder. 1 and a green for a 1/3. Reach. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, draw a card. Tap to add 1 mana of any color. So human, mana dork. And it's a shaman, so again, not a soldier. I've been thinking if there was anything we could do to help a planet already in misery. Okay. Lifestream's Blessing, 4 and 2 green. Draw X cards where X is the greatest power among creatures you controlled as you cast a spell. If the spell was cast from exile, you gain twice X life. Nice. Again, lots of foretelling stuff going on here. Professor Hojo, 1 and a green for a 2/2. Scientist, not soldier. Definitely thinking that Tifa seems better than Cloud, to be honest, for this deck so far. But maybe there's going to be a ridiculous amount of equipment in here. Who knows? The first activated ability you activate during your turn that targets a creature you control costs 2 less to activate. Whenever one or more creatures you control become the target of an activated ability, draw a card. This ability only triggers once each turn. Yeah, okay. That's not bad. Summoning Materia, 2 and a green. This is equipment, so one of our weapons. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. As long as this equipment is attached to a creature, you can cast creature spells from the top of your library. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has vigilance plus tap to add green. Interesting. Aerith, Last Ancient. Look at Aerith. They did really good with her artwork, guys. That's awesome. 2, a green and a white for a 3/5 with lifelink. Druid, cleric, not soldier. I mean, I'm not saying that they should be soldiers because clearly that would defeat the lore of the deck, but I'm just saying it seems weird to have things that specifically want to focus on soldiers if we don't have a lot of soldiers. 3/5 with lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. If you gain 7 or more life this turn, return that card to the battlefield. Ooh, I like her. She could be fun to build a deck around on her own if I could get a second copy from somebody, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. There's our Barrett. Barrett looks good too, guys. They did him solid. 2, a red and a green for a 4/4 reach. Avalanche. Whenever an equipment you control enters, create a 2/2 rebel, which is not a soldier. He's also not a soldier either. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to target rebel you control. That's awesome as an ability. I love it. Oh, they did nice for red too, guys. Look at red. Man, the artwork on this is phenomenal. Red, 13, Proud Warrior. 1 red and green. Vigilance, Trample. Other modified creatures you control have Vigilance and Trample. Nice. Whenever he enters, return target or equipment card from your graveyard to your hand. Cool. Sephiroth, Fallen Hero, because of course they had to include some copy of Sephiroth with this deck. It wouldn't be right if they didn't. He's a 7/5 human avatar soldier. Alright, finally, we got a 4th soldier. Genova Cells. Whenever this thing attacks, you may put a cell counter on target creature. Until end of turn, each modified creature you control has a base power and toughness 7/5. Wow. And the Reunion. Pay 3, sacrifice a modified creature, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Damn. I like this guy a lot. Get rid of a token that has something on it, bring him back, build up your board again. If he dies again, bring him back as long as he doesn't get exiled. That makes sense for the lore of Sephiroth for sure. Sephiroth. Sorry. I have a hard time pronouncing that name. Conformer Shuriken. 2 for an equipment. Equipped creature has whenever this creature attacks, target creature defending player controls. Oh, tap target creature defending player controls. If that creature has greater power than this creature, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature equal to the difference in their power. So if you put this on a 1/1 and you tap a 7/7, you're putting 6 +1/+1 counters on it. That's pretty solid. Wrecking Ball Arm 2. Equipped creature has base power and toughness 7/7 and can't be blocked by creatures of power 2 or less. Equipped to legendary creatures for 3 or something else for 7. Nice. Ooh, the Austere Command has some pretty cool artwork. Oh, I didn't see the lore on the last one, sorry. It's clearly for Barrett. I don't care what it is, I'm gonna bust him up. Alright. The Austere Command, destroy all artifacts, enchantments, creatures with mana value 3 or less, or creatures with mana value 4 or greater. You get to pick 2 of those. Bastion Protector. Alright, we got a soldier. That makes 5. 2 and a white for a 3/3. Commander creatures you control have 2/2 and indestructible. Bronze Guardian. 4 and a white. Star 5. Double strike. Ward 2. Other artifacts you control have Ward 2. And this creature's power is equal to the number of artifacts he controls. So he gives himself 1. And anything else on the board that's an artifact gives him more. Nice. Ooh, the artwork on Clever's Concealment is beautiful too, guys. Convoke. So you can tap creatures to pay the colorless cost. So it can only cost you 2 white if you can tap 2 creatures. Any number of target non-land permanents you control phase out. Nice. So if somebody's going to board wipe you, you can save all your stuff. Pure Steel Paladin, 2 white for 2/2. This is a knight, not a soldier. Whenever an equipment you control enters, you can draw a card, and equipment you control have equipped 0 as long as you control 3 or more. Ooh, damn. Get 3 artifacts and him on the board, and all your weapons get moved around for free. That's pretty solid. Unfinished Business, 3 and a white. Just making sure I didn't miss any lore. 3 and 2 white, sorry. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, then return up to 2 aura and equipment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to that creature. If you're going to pick a fight with the Turks, you'd better be prepared to leave in a body bag. Nice. Vanquish the Horde, 6 and 2 white. Costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield, though. Destroy all creatures. Sir, a mass of high-density energy is heading towards Midgard! Chaos Warp, 2 and a red. The owner of target permanent shuffles into their library, reveals the top card of the library. If it's a permanent, it goes onto the battlefield. I'm getting less human. Hellkite Tyrant. Ooh, that's an interesting include in this deck. 4 and 2 red. Flying Trample. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, gain control of all artifacts they control. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more artifacts, you automatically win the game. That's an insane include in this deck, but cool. Professional Facebreaker, that seems like the perfect include in this deck. 2 and a red for a 2/3. Menace, whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create a treasure token, sacrifice a treasure token, exile the top card of your library. You can play that card this turn. Probably not going to do the second thing, but definitely going to do this first thing a bunch. You can get up to 3 treasure tokens per turn if you hit all 3 of your opponents at the same time. Just making sure I'm not going overboard on time because I do have space limits. 2, a red and a green. Destroy target artifact, target creature, target enchantment, and target land. Decimate is a hard one to pull off, but if you do it, it's pretty awesome. Progress requires sacrifice. Learn to live with it. President Shinra. President Shinra seems like a jerk. If I remember correctly, he is. 3 for a 2/2. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, you may attach any number of equipment to this thing. Damn. Never seen that one before. They don't call those things sweepers for nothing. They can wipe out a whole squad in seconds. Damn. Loving the artwork. Champion's Helm, 3. Equipped creature gets +2/+2. Has Hexproof if it's legendary, so most of the creatures in here will get Hexproof too from this. Conqueror's Flail, nice include. +1/+1 for each color among permanents you control, so it's going to be +3/+3 for this deck. And as long as the equipment is attached to a creature, your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Darksteel Plate, 3, indestructible. Equipped creature has indestructible. Nice. Inspiring Statuary. Oh, that one actually had lore, sorry. A Shinra uniform. I was so proud when I first put it on. Inspiring Statuary. 3, non-artifact spells have Improvise. So you can tap artifacts to help pay for non-artifact spells. Man thinks very highly of himself, Barrett Wallace. Nice. Ooh, Sword of the Animist. I like the artwork version of this one, though, for Final Fantasy. Don't fight here, you'll ruin the flowers. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. Whenever equipped creature attacks, you may search your library for a basic land, put it on the battlefield, tapped, and shuffle. That is such an awesome card. What a great tribute to, Fudge. I'm so bad with names. Aerith. Yeah. Great tribute to Aerith. My bad. Battlefield Forge. I think we're getting into the lands now, some of them at least. Bonder's Enclave. I'm not going to read the lore on all the different lands. Fine. Welcome to the New World Order. This one taps add colorless or 3 to draw a card. With things the way they are now, how about raising a chocobo? There are no chocobos in this deck, as far as I know. Brushland. Whenever Sin is defeated here, the Calm will visit Spira once more. That's why this place is now known as the Calmlands. Oh, cool. It would have been nice if they actually put the actual names of the lore lands on these and then put the bracketed ones below, but I'm sure they won't do that because that would cost them extra. Canopy Vista. I like this one because you can search for it. This here's Midil. It's a quiet little hot springs town, just the perfect place for old folks like us to live out our days. Our lives, sorry. Cinderglade. After we lost the war, we got peace. But with that, we lost something else. Now look at Wutai. Aww, poor Yuffie. Clifftop Retreat. Our mission is to survey a rundown reactor, Sephiroth. Exotic Orchard. Ooh, the artwork on Exotic Orchard is pretty cool. I mean, the artwork on all these is really nice, don't get me wrong, but I like these two actually really nice too. I'm just not usually a fond of a lot of like human civilization stuff, but these are nice, for sure. We have been expecting you, Lady Una. Welcome to... Oh my goodness, I'm going to get that so wrong. Guadosalam. I apologize if I butchered that. Firelit Thicket. I don't think I've ever seen one of those. Oh, cool. It's like a Cascade Bluffs, except for green-red. Nice. Welcome to Wall Market, the pleasure capital of Midgard. That's got everything for everybody. Fortified Village. We've been fighting Shinra on this battlefield for a long time. We settled in for a long war. Fury Column Snarl. It sure helped having Sid here. I had no idea he could drive a train. I didn't either. Whoops. Fumble. Game Trail. Many attractions await you here at the Gold Saucer. You will be moved and excited, thrilled, and terrified. Mossfire Valley. Look at this rusted rocket. I was supposed to be the first man in space with this. Every day it tilts a little bit more. Rootbound Crag. Did Sephiroth do this? Rugged Prairie. Coral sure has gone to pot. It used to be a famous coal mining town. Now it's nothing but a miserable pit. Me, my bulldozer, everything's out of work. Scavenger Grounds. The Burn. Once a verdant region teeming with flora and fauna, repeated summonings saw it bled of aether and reduced to a barren desert. Aww. Slayer's Stronghold. Today, the #1 reactor was bombed. The terrorist group Avalanche has claimed responsibility for the bombing. Spire of Industry. Ooh, this is actually a really good one. You can tap, pay 1 life, and add 1 mana of any color, but only if you have an artifact. Otherwise, it just taps for colorless, but still, it's great for filter land, besides the typical command tower. A shining monument to corporate greed. One of these days, I'm going to tear it down and burn the rubble. Barrett Wallace. I like that one. Sungrass Prairie. Thinking of crossing the marshes? Then it'll probably be safer for you to get a chocobo. Sunpetal Grove. This land intercept. Blah, 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 blah. I wish I could live in a place like this. Peaceful. Living with a smile on my face every day. Aw, Yuna. That one's actually really cute. I like the artwork on that one. I'm a sucker for sunsets. Sunscorched Divide. You there. We're about to storm the castle. The 2 of you will join the assault squad. Get moving. Ooh, Zach Fair. We got another soldier. Nice. 1 white for a 0/1. Enters with a +1/+1 counter on it. Okay. Pay 1, sacrifice him. Target creature you control gains indestructible until end turn. Then put all his +1/+1 counters, or no, just all his counters, sorry, on that creature and attach an equipment that was attached to Zach to that creature as well. Wow, that creature gets stacked when you do that. Ooh, we got a second Barrett. Nice. So there was the Barrett at the beginning here. Where was he? Avalanche Leader, and now we have just Barrett Wallace. Reach, and whenever it attacks, it deals damage equal to the number of equipped creatures you control to defending player. 4/4. You gonna stand there and pretend you can't hear the planet crying out in pain? Dispatch, 1 white. Tap target creature. If you control 3 or more artifacts, exile that creature. Ooh, damn. That sucks. Secret Rendezvous, 1 and 2 white. Okay, this is the one we're supposed to look at and see if it has a smile. Mine does not have a smile. You and target opponent each draw 3 cards. I like the artwork on this one anyways, but there was a Reddit post where Cloud kind of had a little bit of extra ink on his mouth by accident in one card image, so it looked like Cloud was smiling slightly. Furious Rise, 2 and a red at the beginning of your end step. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card until you exile another card with this enchantment. Nice. You guys are worthless, but my proud creation is a sure thing. Vandal Blast, 1 and a red, or Overload, 4 and a red. Danger's part of the job, don't worry about me. You get to destroy an artifact you control, or you destroy everybody's artifact. All the artifacts. Cultivate. Beautiful artwork again. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, reveal them, put one on the battlefield, the other into your hand. They say you can't grow grass and flowers in Midgard, but for some reason, the flowers have no trouble blooming here. Aww. Harmonize, 2 and a 2 green to draw 3. Only the ancients, only Aerith can save us from the meteor. Aww. Nature's Lore, 1 and a green. Search your library for a forest, put that onto the battlefield. The spirits that return to the planet merge with one another and roam the planet. They roam, converge, and divide, becoming a swell called the Life Stream. This deck has such good lore. It was definitely worth the investment. Search your library for a basic land card, put that onto the battlefield tapped. It's up to the planet to decide what is best for the planet and what is bad for the planet. All that is bad will disappear. Behemoth Sledge, 1 and a green and a white. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, trample and lifelink. A crudely reinforced baseball bat designed to beat the living tar out of anything and everything. I like it. Arcane Signet. Oh, that's a mean tease right there. Buster Sword in the artwork and everything. Add 1 mana of a color, of course. And to put it simply, the knowledge of the ancients is sealed within each orb. That knowledge not only connects us to the planet, it allows us to tap into her power. Colossus Hammer. Equipped creature has +10/+10 but loses flying. Costs 8 to equip, but 1 to put into play. Sorry to keep you waiting, it's me. I'll handle the rest. Explorer's Cope. 1. Equip 1. Whenever the equipped creature attacks, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, you put it onto the battlefield tapped. I love the artwork on this one. Hero's Blade. Solid tease, even further. Equipped creature gets +3/+2. Whenever a legendary creature you control enters, you can attach this to it. Otherwise, it costs 4 to equip. Hero's Heirloom 2. Equipped creature gets +2/+1. As long as it's equipped, it's legendary and has trample and haste. Oh, that's neat. I never knew that existed. Lightning Greaves. Equipped creature has haste and shroud. Nice. That one had lore, sorry. Gotta step it up, Tifa Lockhart. Mask of Memory. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, draw 2 cards. If you do, discard a card. Skull Clamp. Equipped creature is +1/-1. Whenever a equipped creature dies, draw 2 cards. Basically, you equip it to the soldiers, they die, you get cards. It's not my favorite card, but I like the artwork on it. In this case. My mother's name is Genova. The Genova Project. Is this just a coincidence? Soul Ring. Naturally formed materia. And look at the size of it. Astounding. For the Mako energy to condense into something like this, it must have taken an eternity. Trailblazer Boots. That was Sephiroth, by the way. 2. For equipped creature has non-basic Landwalk. It can't be blocked if the defending player has a non-basic... Whoa, that's an insane equipment. Never seen that before either. The gate to tomorrow is not the light of heaven, but the darkness of the depths of the earth. Vincent Valentine. Ash Barons. There's legend that tells of an ancient battle between the Esper Odin and a powerful Magus. It took place in the Great Hall of a castle. Okay. Evolving Wilds. Both the Crusaders and the Albed truly wish peace for Spira. This Operation Mihen was born from that wish they share. I apologize for messing that up badly. Jungle Shrine. This is the Temple of the Ancients. I know, I feel it. The knowledge of the ancients. Aerith. Path of Ancestry. Classic. I mean, scrying is going to be kind of pointless in this deck again, though, because, well, I mean, everybody's a human, I suppose. That actually works. Human does work. Okay. Scrying will work in this deck because of the human aspect. That is true. Radiant Grove. You're not really going to see the dead, more like your memories of them. They take on the form of the dead person, an illusion, nothing else. Riku. Sacred Peaks. So this is the power of the Warring Triad. With this in my Magus sight, the world will become mine to command. Wooded Ridgeline. Monsters instinctively target weaker prey, said Cloud. You better watch out then, Aerith teased. Command Tower. Thanks to the miracle of Mako energy, our lives are richer and better than ever before. Mako keeps our lights on at night and made Midgard into the city that never sleeps. I do like the artwork on that one. Oh, we got full art lands for the rest of it? Oh, that is sick. This deck came with full art finish lands, guys. Check this out. You don't usually get lands like this for the rest of your deck. You usually just get those simple lands. These are nice. These are beautiful basic lands, guys. Holy. Yes, I'm gushing. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, that was definitely a treat. And yes, I'm definitely going to run Tifa over Cloud probably. Sorry, Cloud. I love you, dude. You're a pretty cool guy. But, I mean, aside from you getting an equipment when you come into play and you have haste, you don't really have a super huge cool thing going on. I suppose the treasure token thing is nice, but I really like Tifa's ability, I think, better. We'll see. I'll probably try both, and we'll see which one I like better. And eventually, that's the one I'll adapt to. In the meantime, we do have our Collector Booster Sample Pack. So let's see if we get something really cool to finish off this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed this deep dive into the Final Fantasy VII lore with me in terms of what Magic gave it to it. I think Magic did a pretty solid job in terms of the artwork on the deck. In terms of connecting everything together in like a in a very like coherent and like well playable thing. I'm not 100% sure how this deck is going to play out, to be honest. I think that it's going to have some troubles with some of the different effects. Like I say, that one guy really doesn't seem like he should fit in here at all. Like, we're not going to have that many soldiers. And even if we do have a bunch of soldiers, that's great. But I mean, he's not going to make a whole bunch of extra soldiers either, per se. Like, I don't know. I'm not super fond of that one. Alright. I put that off long enough. Let's do this. What we got? What we got? What we got? We got... Ooh, rejoin the fight. Full art hollow. Mill 3 cards, then starting with the next opponent in turn order, each opponent chooses a creature card in your graveyard that hasn't been chosen. Return that each card chosen this way to the battlefield. Holy shit! That is freaking awesome! I have to fight to protect the people I love and to make the world a safe place for new lives. I like the flavor text on that too. And... oh, an extra Kate Sith, but we got a full art one, so we'll probably replace... yeah, you know what? I'm going to just do that right now. Sorry, regular Kate Sith. I'm going to replace you with the full art one for this deck, because this deck is blingy. And you, my little friend, may end up being a mono-red commander deck at some point. At the beginning of combat, on your turn, scry 1, then exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. When you exile a card with target creature gets +6/+7 to... I mean, that could be an interesting thing to build a commander deck around. Since I have an extra one. Anyways, that is what we have for you today, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of Super Deck Sunday! 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 This episode has been a special one for me. I hope it's been a special one for you guys. Basically... like I say, I love this game now. I love the lore of this game. One more time, MatCave, this is your fault. I blame you, MatCave Gaming. But I also love you, MatCave Gaming. If I could make a heart properly. Yeah. I'm loving the community. I'm really happy that I found this community. I think if you guys like retro gaming, for sure, go check out MatCave Gaming's channel. He does a lot of Resident Evil stuff. He did Final Fantasy. What else is he doing right now? I've seen. I mean, he's all over the place. Plus, he does a really cool box opening every month that if you're a member of his channel, you get to see, which is pretty solid. And then he makes the video public the following day, so you get to be part of the live stream if you're a member, and if not, you get to see the video eventually anyways. So don't worry. But I think it's definitely something you guys should go check out. So much love to you, Matt. And from Kaiba, who's disappeared a while ago because he got tired of putting up with me. From Kaiba over wherever, and me to all of you, take care. Have a great Sunday, guys. Love you all. Bye.